Okay, so back with our next installment of non-fungible frameworks and the live call examples. And here we have my absolute favorite. I would say it is the most important part of the sales process. Whether you agree with that or not, remains to be seen in your closing percentage. Now, discovery is an art form. It is very much an art form. But there is a schematic that's running alongside, right? Just because you're an amazing artist doesn't mean that you didn't learn some fundamentals from a very good teacher early on. And so there is always a science to an art form. You must learn the key practices and fundamentals in order to master an art form and really make it your own. So I would suggest that you do that. And in the previous modules, we talked about how the situational questions will eventually lead to the specific problem and pain point and how that's affecting them from there. So what we're looking for here is a reason for a prospect to get on a call. And of course, that's always going to come with a story. Here's this, here's that, we've done this, we've done that, we've been trying to do this, we're really looking at this, and then we saw that, and here we are. There's some sort of chain of events, cause and effect cycle, or trigger event that's caused them to book in the call with you. And so you want to understand the basic business or situation enough to start digging in to vertical matters. And so what we're going to look for here is, did our sales rep do that? Now, I've graded this a 3 out of 5 on the scale. It is a closed call, and I'll give you several notes as to why I graded it that way. So we are back with this gentleman here on the phone. Here on the left is our sales rep, and then we've got 2 prospects here on the right. So let's listen to see how the story turns into a very clear and obvious situation as to why these gentlemen are on the phone with our salesperson. And let's see how our salesperson keys in on the specific pain points that we know we can solve as, in this instance, an digital marketing agency scaling program. There we have coaching, and we also have there's a done for you element too. So let's listen and hear how we start to position our expertise, our solution, based on these prospects' situation. So this will be a little bit longer video, so strap in. We'll stop a few more moments as we go through.
We've already interviewed them. We're going to start.
Oh, and just for context, I started this midway through the story of why we're on the phone. So again, these gentlemen would have already talked to a appointment setter, so we have some context and background going on, and they're just kind of giving us a synopsis or summary of what's been discussed and what their situation is so far.
Start testing kind of like their efficiency and their abilities here in the next week or two. And so kind of where we're just at is just like
kind of scamming mindset right now.
Yeah, we just need to grow the business. We were full-time other places. We've worked in software companies. We've done sales, 15 plus years sales. So like for each of us, so like we can do the sales. We have some fulfillment that's
We have a team.
that's ready to go for different factors. We do Facebook and Google and SEO. We have different people for each of the different services. So now it's just like, okay, can we grow that scalably, affordably, where we're not just getting our pockets just crushed, as far as customer acquisition costs. So that's kind of where we're at. We're just trying to discover like, what is out there that can help us grow scalably and affordably.
Okay. So we have a situation, and I'm going to highlight some key phrases that our prospects use. We have a scaling mindset. We're ready to grow. Customer acquisition's not so expensive. They say they have a team. They can do sales, right? So they're qualifying themselves. They are qualifying themselves for what our salesperson is looking to sell them. So first of all, we have to give credit where credit's due to marketing, the offer that attracted them in the first place, and the appointment setter that spoke to them so far that had them show up to a sales call with a mindset like this. They are not necessarily qualifying us other than affordability, because they said it twice, and the obvious is this what they're looking for, right? So as long as our salesperson can, through lines of questioning and clear features and benefits presentation, as long as our salesperson can confirm that what they already perceive and think about our business is true and that we can help them scale their agency, as long as that happens and we can assess what affordable means and what's affordable to them based on their current situation and their opportunity for cash flow and scaling in the future, right? So if you are flat broke, but you have the opportunity to earn multiple millions of dollars, then a reasonable human being with a growth mindset or a scaling mindset, to use their word, is going to do literally whatever it takes to get there. So let's say you had a 50% chance to win the lottery, but the lottery tickets were $10,000. You would rob a bank or a little old lady down the street to get a lottery ticket. Well, you may not do that, but a lot of people would. It would be chaos. And so the lottery chances are whatever these astronomical chances are. And the tickets are cheap, right? So what is the chances? Let's just for giggles. What's the average probability for winning the lottery? 1 in 13 million, 14 million. 1 in 14 million to win the lottery. So, right? What's the probability that these guys believe that with the right strategy, the right help, they can scale their business to wherever they want to go? So we're going to find that out. We're going to find out a little bit more, but right now they're coming in confident and there's clear qualifiers they're looking for. They've qualified themselves and now they are looking for something that is the right fit and it's affordable. And we need to figure out what affordable is, because you can kind of squeeze these oblong and oval shapes into the round hole pretty easily on most sales calls. In fact, there's a sales call that I'll show you on a later video here, where I think the salesperson totally lost a deal to a very sophisticated prospect, and I'll show you that later. But let's take a listen here what these guys have to say, and more importantly, let's focus on how the line of questioning lines up for our salesperson. You see him here looking off camera, so he's looking at probably his script or his line of questionings or maybe their application or his notes from the setter. He is formulating a strategy in his mind. Let's see how he gets into it.
Gotcha. I mean, Scott, John, I'm gonna skip the whole run around. You guys obviously been in sales for like a long time. I just gotta ask like a couple key questions, dude, and then.
So this is an excellent example of framing once we've got into the discovery. I'm going to skip the runaround. You guys have been in sales for a long time, and I'm going to be straight with you. So he's elevating their status to make them feel good, like they're getting kind of like a sneak peek. Like you're getting a unique environment. You're getting a unique experience on the call here with me. And that's going to make the prospect feel nice. Now, we don't want to do too much of this flattery and take ourselves off process. So I tentatively like this, but let's see how he follows through with it.
I can dive in a little bit more. What's the niche that you guys are doing, and like how long you guys been in the space for?
So we don't have a specific niche, which I know is like a party foul.
It is like a party foul, man.
It's a party. It's a party foul.
But our niche really is Infusionsoft, the software. So all of our clients are in that.
So they don't have a niche per se. And this is down to the understanding of the niche. They say we don't have a niche, like we're not working with a certain type of demographic or businesses, but they actually do have a niche, right? So they're experts in Infusionsoft because they used to work for Infusionsoft.
That particular software, but there's, with that system, there's a myriad of different
types of businesses.
And I've worked with thousands of businesses, small businesses. I know pretty much every business model there is inside of that. So we're certified. So
again, we have qualifying themselves. They are qualifying themselves. I know we don't have a niche, but we're experts and I've worked with thousands of businesses. Let me tell you all about it so you like me and so you sell to me. So this is still a quality frame.
Infusionsoft are key partners as well. So that really is our niche. A small business at that level. It's we don't
Let's see where he goes after niche.
Like, we'll service whoever.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys run ads for Infusionsoft, like for companies that want to use Infusionsoft?
Yes.
Yeah, for the business. Yeah, so we're former Infusionsoft employees because Infusionsoft's here in Arizona, and then I worked for Hub. I worked today. I worked for HubSpot, and so like we can work with HubSpot customers. We can help coach them on their strategies on setup and things of that nature.
We just go high level in the background for a lot of clients. I mean.
So like we don't have a specific niche. Now, caveat, we do have a partnership with a software company that that only serves like bookkeeping, tax, like CPA companies, businesses, small businesses, like bookkeeper, that kind of thing.
So this is a partner, a referral partner, basically, for bookkeeping and tax businesses. This is an acquisition channel, and this is probably how they're surviving right now in terms of cash flow. This salesperson is representing a marketing company, and so people who are reaching out for marketing strategy, whether that's on the done with you or the done for you level, remains to be seen. I don't know yet, but notice how upfront prospects are with certain information, and then how tight-lipped or obfuscated and smoke and mirrors like they are with other information, right? So let's see what our salesperson does with the information that basically they just told them, we have an acquisition channel that's a referral partner, and let's see if he finds out if there's anything else going or if that's it.
Probably the route we would go.
If we're going to do a niche thing, we'd probably try that because they're like, cool, market to our list. We've got 8,000 people on it.
Yeah.
You know, like we'll do a co thing if you want, whatever. So like as far as a niche focus, if we were going to do something, the fastest to cash is that.
Yeah.
Are we experts in it? No. Do we understand it because we sell software and we market the software to them? We understand it at that level. But like I don't come from bookkeeping. I come from software.
We've done different niches in the past. We've done like solar, we've done chiropractics, we've done dental,
Legal.
Like,
We've been in every
we've
niche.
niched down before. It's not uncommon for us.
Yeah. It's just, we've never had like a.
So from a language pattern perspective and just showing you truly how many routes you can take in the discovery, the niche question netted him a little bit of information, but it took a minute and a half to get them to kind of stop, because these guys are the type of personality that they are, where they're continuously kind of qualifying themselves. We're good, I promise. Look, no, we're experts. We make good decisions. We have good ideas. They're basically unconsciously trying to validate themselves to our salesperson. Now, from a language pattern perspective, from our end, I would have probably started imposing my voice on their story to get them to wrap up like, okay, got it. So you do have a niche, but it's not with a specific type of business. No problem, guys. Was just curious. Like, shut up. Was just curious. Like, you can stop proving yourself to me because I've got other questions, right? So this is an opportunity for those of you who get impatient, like I do at this day and age on sales calls, and just really be direct. It's funny, because our salesperson here said, I'm just going to be direct with you. Do you guys have a niche? That's not a very direct question. I'm going to be direct with you guys. You're smart. What do you think is the number one thing that's keeping you from getting more, retain your clients? What do you think is the number one thing from keeping you from collecting more cash right now, generating more appointments, blah, 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 blah. Whatever I feel like is that linchpin thing that they think is the root cause of the problem, I'm going to go there. That's actually being direct. What he asked is a pretty basic surface level question. Do you have a niche? And it went on for a minute and a half. So let's see where he takes it from here. The call's not lost by any means, but if we don't get it back into the matter at hand, then we're going to have a pretty lengthy discovery process. Now, again, mind you, these guys closed. Marketing and the setter already did their job, and I think a lot of the heavy lifting. So let's just see where our sales rep goes from here.
Formula where we're like, oh, let's stay in this niche because it's worked well for us. Every niche has been like, okay. And then, we have a client for 6 months and they move on. We'll stick with, realtors we did like a year of realtors. And
that's a niche, bro. That's a heck of a niche.
Yeah,
so he does that to actually get him to stop. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's realtors. Geez, don't even get me started. Anyway, and then he's trying to divert. So let's see if he keeps it going.
Monster.
I hate real estate.
Yeah.
Well, I was actually in real estate.
Nope, not the direction you should take that.
I know you guys didn't come here for this, but I was in real estate for a long time, bro, and I hated it. Worst.
That's not doing anything. That's not this is just now let's complain and see how long this takes. 6 minutes.
It's ever, bro.
They're the worst. Even some CRM software in real estate is like, just kill me. Just
we worked with Lion Desk.
Here we go. Here he got a story.
Like $200, and they're like, too much. $200 is too much.
Lion Desk used to be one of our clients.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we've done some software marketing, but now it's like, all right, can we grab the stamping pad, get 10 new customers every month, scalably grow, because running these bigger projects and stuff.
30 seconds.
Sucks.
Yeah.
profit margins like all over the place because then they get demanding and they're like, hey, can you generate some new landing pages? Can you do these things? And it's like, look, I don't really want to
40
just,
seconds.
We're getting more intentional about cutting out automation out of our operating. So
Yeah.
Not setting up phones anymore. Not even that kind of crap.
Is it just straight to book a call, like add to Calendly link, basically? Gotcha. Yeah, man, that's the way it's going right now.
He doesn't know where to take it. Look at his body language. They're talking. Look at them. They're really keyed in on him. So our salesperson needs to say the right thing and ask the right question. Because he just did a little quick qualifying. Oh, is this your funnel process? Add to book a call, which isn't necessarily ideal. That's not bringing them qualified people, right? They might be talking to a lot of people who they can't actually help, which might feel good for people who are just learning how to market their own business. It's exciting, but it also might be a total waste of time.
I mean, Scott, John, what do you guys? Just curious, like, what is your guys, like,
What's the goal?
reason for not actually diving in? Like, what's
That's a very vague question.
hindered you guys? Like, been the biggest roadblock from you guys?
Okay. So this is where we could have gone first. What's the number one thing that you think is keeping you from booking more appointments? You're smart. You guys have been around. You're experts, clearly. What's the reason you guys aren't absolutely killing it?
Actually niching down and keeping client retention.
Doesn't matter about niching down. They already kind of have one.
well,
They didn't say anything about client retention either.
there's a few factors.
There's a few factors. I got
Okay. 7 minutes, 20 seconds. Let's see how long this goes.
recruited away from the business, and I was head of marketing and sales for a bigger agency.
Okay.
But they just folded in May.
They folded not because of him.
Not because of me, but
The agency was basically acquired,
they were acquired.
Okay.
and they were just like,
And I brought John in as part of the leadership team, so we kind of focused on that business because that was a bigger opportunity. Meanwhile, our agency was scaling down. So now that we're out of that, we're like, yeah, scale things back up. And that's kind of the majority of the reason why.
we're just trying to get back into a full-time mentality, and we just need the business to be at 30K minimum and above a month.
Okay.
Like, because after all of our
So here we go. We finally got some truth on the call. So the only thing that we've heard so far from the prospect is stories. It's the only thing that we've heard. Story, excuse, justification, circumstance, blah, 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 perception. Now we know they want to get to 30K per month. So let's do the fucking math. What do they need?
costs with fulfillment and blah, 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 all that stuff, we just need to be 30K plus.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
What?
What are you guys doing right now currently with like client volume?
Yeah, how about we find that out
We're
first?
at 10K right now.
Yeah.
I mean, because we had to resurrect it. It was kind of like,
The only thing we really got kind
Tech
of
support.
we had like 5 clients maybe, over the last like
and COVID
year.
hit, so we weren't really prospecting
We got another story.
because we were focused on other projects. That was kind of just like a passive income for a little bit. So
So is it 10K rev or is it 10K?
Yeah,
like,
10K rev.
what about profit? Like, what are you guys taking home?
Oh, profit? I don't know. Like probably 4,500 of that.
So your
maybe
profit
five.
margin. Okay, so your profit
Yeah, it's
margin is 40%.
Yeah, it's about 40-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it depends on what we're paying for during that month, right? Like, are we doing any ads? Are we
Who cares if the profit margin's 40%? My profit margin on $100 that I charge some old lady to cut her fucking grass is 100% or 89% because I've had to put gas in my lawnmower. And my dad gave me the lawnmower. Who cares what the profit margin is? If they're not earning a livable wage, $4,500 in net profit between 2 adult males living in Arizona, what does that pay for? That's the real situation. Because you heard that a business of, in this niche should be at a 30, 40% profit margin, and then that's where they are, now you all of a sudden think that they're doing well, and they're making 10K per month. They just have to triple their business. Well, tripling the business also entails restructuring it almost all the time. Can you guys currently handle the amount of clients that you would need to get to 30K per month? That's the question.
be doing? Whatever. So it'll go from 50 to 40%, depending on what we're doing. But yeah, that's
So
generally.
you
what it
guys are
is.
each taking home 2K at the end of the day, right?
Here we go.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you guys gonna do right now to like put the ads back in place? You said you guys are testing out a bunch of different niches. What's
Yeah, the
like
closest
different
to
ad sets
cash.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, no, it's a good question.
Okay, so it is a fair question. That's a fair question, but it's really tactical. The ads might not be what they need. Ads is going to be a piece of what they need, both for their clients and for their own agencies. But here's a better question for you. So before we spoke, guys, what's your plan to get to 30K? You know, you're taking home 2, you're generating 10, you pay your team out, you know, you got acquisition costs, software costs, all that jazz. What are you guys planning on doing to get to 30K? Like what are kind of the leading options for you right now? And they're either going to say, we don't know. We're hoping this is it. We're talking to so and so and so and so. Or something else. Like that's, and then you can unravel each of those and, you know, argue Socratically each side and weigh their options and the confidence level of the situation. How confident is your prospect that they want to work with you? How confident are you in themselves? Are they in themselves? How confident are they in someone else's coaching program? How confident are they that Bitcoin's going to hit 100K? What is their fucking plan? And if you don't hold your prospect responsible for what their plan is, then you become this smoking gun scapegoat, pie in the sky hope, or you become the person that gave them enough dopamine and new information to go and get smart and figure it all out on their own again. So because this is a reasonable question, let's see where it goes. But I'm not super thrilled with the momentum that we've not gathered almost 10 minutes into the call. The amount of stories and lack of facts and real statistical evidence that we have going into the situation. We don't necessarily have an objective truth at this point. And so we need to gain that. So let's see if we can get it.
Question. I mean, the closest cash, kind of going back to the accounting type thing, that's kind of step one, and then another group is that Infusionsoft, like HubSpot group.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you've got a system in place, but you're not getting leads. So let's talk. And then we'll also coach you on your, implementation or something like that. So that's kind of like another.
We got a couple of big lists like that kind of stuff, and then we're also doing webinars with partners, webinars, stuff like that to generate.
Yeah, we're doing some co-branded webinars and some other.
So they have a list of leads where they kind of have an offer for them, and then they have affiliates.
Agencies who they don't really play in our space.
We play the animation world, but every time when we were in the animation world, everyone always asked, "Would you do Facebook leads?" And the answer's always no. Yeah. Right. So that's the reason why we got into this, 5 years ago, is because of that.
How do your ads perform? Like
for clients?
It depends.
I mean, let's stay focused on you guys, because like at the 10K level, man, it's like not about client results yet. It's about volume of clients that you can get for yourself and keep them on tap. Because like the client results will come. What are you guys doing for yourself right now, and how does that look like on a day-to-day basis for ads?
So we pulled our ads.
Okay, so I've already assessed which program this guy's selling based on the questions that he's asking. He's going to sell them or want to sell them done for you, where we as a company run or set up their ads rather. So we will launch and set up their ads. We'll test them. Once they're in KPI, we hand them over. It's a 4-month program at 16K. And that's probably what he wants to sell them, because he wants to find out if their ad strategy is viable, not if they know how to scale a business entirely and sell them something that's more coaching. So he's going to sell them a service, which is why he's keying in on the specific part of their business instead of their overall strategy. And now this comes down to different style. I'm always looking at overall strategy, because tactically, I don't care what gets you to 50K, 30K, 100K per month, $1 million, as long as I know it's proven to work and there's confidence there and it's something that's in your unique skill set or ability to manage or to execute yourself. But that's okay. Stylistically, we have differences, and clearly the salesperson wants to sell them that product. That's fine.
like a while ago, but we're looking to start them again, and that's what this effort is.
Yeah.
So
We were running before.
So they don't have ads set up.
Lead ads, essentially, is what we
Yeah.
were running. And the quality of those are not great.
What do you mean they weren't like? What was it like in terms of like quality?
Yeah, I'm not surprised the quality's not great because you're going from direct ad to booking link without any qualifiers.
They wouldn't show up for the appointments, or if they did show up for the appointments, they're like a startup business, just.
It's like there's like no follow-up sequence, nothing to make sure that they're gonna show up, no like inbound voicemail drop, nothing like that.
Well,
We did some of that.
Yeah. We did the follow-up. I mean, they just wouldn't.
So asking one question and then thinking that you got them and trying to say, oh, so it's, yeah, you don't have a follow-up sequence for, oh, so it's no show, it's show up rate. And immediately thinking that that's the issue is a telltale sign of someone who does not manage complex situations. So let me help you understand how to do this better and differently. So, and I'm going to stop because I'm just actually getting upset listening to this. So first of all, we assess that going directly into what their main problem is in the business to scale it to 30K is a more direct route to take rather than asking about their niche and hearing a bunch of stories about why they don't have a niche and why they are where they are. Finding out where they want to go and what they've tried and what their struggle is to get there is also going to get you the strategy and the info that they have that you need in order to sell them something different. Because if you just basically sound like what they've already tried, they're not going to buy shit from you. Now, these guys do close, so credit where credit's due. They're a pretty aware buyer, and they're playing ball. They're also fine with the questions because, to be totally honest, they're not very smart. And I want to always understand and hold my prospect responsible. What's their plan to get there? Because it's not my job to come up with the plan until you pay me. So at this stage, I want to understand, if the ads is the conversation, if we want to sell them the done for you ads offer. Cool. So are you guys running paid ads for your own agency? No, we're not. We took them down. Why'd you take them down? Well, we weren't getting really the people that we wanted to. Okay, well, what were some of your numbers? Like, what was the biggest issue? Well, getting the people to show up. So was it show up rate? Or even when you got someone to show up, like, was it the right person? No, it was, they were all over the place and blah, 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 blah. Do you have any of those metrics handy, or would those all be in the ads manager and it would take you minutes to fish those up? Yeah, it probably would be, take a while. Okay, got it. Well, first of all, it's really important to keep good data and to kind of know those numbers so that way history doesn't repeat itself, right? But I'll give you a break this time. So show up rate was pretty low. If you had to guess, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 appointments, like how many scheduled appointments did you have? Do you remember? Could you look on your calendar off the top of your head, ballpark, blah, 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 blah. Let's say 30. Okay, 30. So 50% showed up? Less? More? Yeah, probably around 50%. Okay, well, funny, that's actually not terrible considering the system that you guys had and how cold those leads probably were. Just based off something you said earlier, though, going straight from ad to booking page is probably why. Now, did you have anything else to nurture them, warm them up, get them excited for the call, or show them that you're the expert that's going to help them solve their problem? Well, no, we didn't have anything. Or yeah, we had an email and a couple of texts to confirm. So you were confirming the call that they already booked, but you weren't showing them why that call was going to be valuable. And people are busy, right? And attention is very limited today. So it's probably fair to say that the funnel and the overall indoctrination sequence or lack thereof is probably one of the reasons why your offer wasn't really attracting people to the call. They weren't sure if they were going to waste 30 minutes or if it was going to be the best 30 minutes of their life. You feel me? Got it. So just to recap, your Infusionsoft experts without a real demographic niche right now. You haven't been running ads. You're doing about 10K revenue taken home 2 apiece, and you guys would like to scale to 30K. Now you have a team. I'm curious, how many clients could you handle? If you have 5 right now, could you handle 10? If we immediately doubled your business in the next 45 days, is that something you guys could handle? You think the system would break a little bit? Yeah, it might break a little bit. Okay, well, breaking a little bit's fine as long as you guys totally don't shit the bed on those leads that we bring you. So you said you're pretty good at sales as well. Now, did you close any of those appointments from the ads that you had running? No, you didn't close a single one. How many did you actually talk to that were kind of a fit? 5. Okay, so you close 0 out of 5. Now, I would have statistically liked to see you close at least 1 or 2. I mean, you guys are experts, and if you have someone on the phone with a problem who you can really solve, and you're actual experts at solving it, why do you think they didn't close? Got it. So you see how, now first of all, I'm just role playing with myself, so just for time purposes, but you see how I'm keeping them at arm's distance. I'm asking questions to help them realize that they don't have a lot of good answers for me. And notice how a lot of my questions are very logical and sensible, and they're rooted in what's the absolute fact here, not how you feel about it or what you hope to do about it in the future. And so using this type of strategy where you go from what's the situation and the fact to what's the biggest problem here, and then how do you feel about it? So what I would have done to put a cherry on top of all of that stuff is once I get that information, so, you guys are making a couple grand, but nothing really to sustain you. You want to get to 30K. Your team could handle a doubling of the business, but you probably would have to hire and restructure some things to triple it. But that's a good problem to solve, and we'd be happy to help you solve it too later down the road. And you guys really need a lead generation and media buying process that creates quality applications, not just people with name, emails, phone numbers on a calendar who aren't really even going to show up. Now, let's say we hung up the phone right now and you guys went to your referral partners or your list of leads and started cold calling and booking more appointments, or maybe you turned your ads back on for a couple $100 per day. How confident are you that in 90 days, you'll be in a drastically different situation on your way to 30K per month? And, do you guys want to give it another shot at doing it on your own? And so the consequences and the facts are going to reveal feelings. And then all I'm going to do is cue in and key in and hold space for those feelings. They're going to have probably a little bit of confusion, a little bit of frustration. They're maybe not sure. There's uncertainty. There's doubt. They want to just get it over with and do it right and wake up and have 30K per month coming into the business. So, well, if that's all true, guys, and you guys want to stop the hamster wheel of client acquisition, and you want to have a system where you can turn it on and off, just like one of the appliances in your home, and know that it's going to work, well, I would recommend knowing the most proven current paid media strategies in the marketplace. And now, luckily for you guys, we've seen digital agencies, at 10K, 30K, 100K, 300K. And so we know what works right now on Facebook, YouTube. We're implementing some cool stuff on TikTok and blah, blah, blah. And so if your folks are on Facebook and Instagram and maybe YouTube as well, then I would say we got a perfect fit here. So, based on your situation and the fact that you guys have kind of been going at it on your own so far, but you're not really media buying experts, you're Infusionsoft experts. It seems like it could be a pretty good partnership, but I'm not sure if you guys have questions or if you want, a little bit more info or blah, 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 blah. And so going into the consequences and the facts at hand will reveal feelings, and then I'm going to hold space for that, and then I'm going to pull out anything else that I can more, and then I'm going to move on, because this doesn't have to take a long time. So I know that this module was a little bit longer. There is just a lot to unpack and pick through in the discovery process. And again, it is an art form, but in order to make beautiful art, you must learn the fundamentals of how to create a foreground and a background and certain details and certain structures and brush strokes and textures and all this kind of stuff. So next, we're going to take a look at what I started to get into there, what I call diagnosis. And I've got a really great example of this for you all. So hopefully this was informative, this was helpful, and maybe even a little bit entertaining along the way. Do not skip discovery. So if this is still an enigma to you, then show up to a live coaching call or reach out to us, and we'll make sure that you get some practice and some space to implement this very, very essential part of the sales process. So I'll see you on the next one with diagnosis. See you later.